Thanksgiving, as most Americans know it today, is a blend of tradition, myth, and a complex history rooted in a variety of cultural practices. Its origins trace back to the early 17th century, yet its evolution has been marked by shifting meanings and purposes. Originally, Thanksgiving was less about food and more about survival and unity during harsh, uncertain times. Over centuries, it became a uniquely American holiday, celebrating the harvest, the spirit of community, and, in recent years, family bonds and gratitude. Yet, beneath the comforting tales of pilgrims and indigenous feasts lies a deeper, often untold story of struggle and resilience. As we journey through the history of Thanksgiving, we'll uncover both the cherished traditions and the truths that challenge them. The holiday embodies moments of peace and conflict, charity and hardship, myth and fact. Each of these elements has helped shape what Thanksgiving means today. From the colonial gatherings to the modern family feasts, Thanksgiving tells us much about America's past. So, gather around as we look beyond the familiar, discovering the true roots of this historic celebration. The first feast, myth and reality. When we think of the first Thanksgiving, images of pilgrims and Native Americans sharing a peaceful feast often come to mind. This iconic scene, however, is a blend of historical fact and later interpretations that simplified a more complicated reality. In 1621, a harvest celebration did take place between the Plymouth settlers and the Wampanoag people, but it was a one-time event. It wasn't called Thanksgiving, and the primary focus was on the settlers' survival and the Wampanoag's generosity in helping them adapt. Life in the New World was harsh and unforgiving, with settlers facing disease, hunger, and extreme weather conditions. For the Wampanoag people, helping the settlers was an act of diplomacy and practicality, ensuring peace with the newcomers. The gathering was more of a diplomatic meeting than a religious observance or annual tradition. This moment was later romanticized as a unifying symbol, creating a national narrative about harmony. The original feast was not even the first example of Thanksgiving on American soil. Earlier settlers, like the Spanish in St. Augustine and the English in Virginia, held similar harvest celebrations. Yet, the 1621 gathering was uniquely impactful because it represented the intersection of two cultures. Over time, this single event became a focal point in America's Thanksgiving mythos. Much of what we think we know about this first Thanksgiving is rooted in 19th-century reinterpretations. Writers and artists of the time sought to create a story that unified Americans by highlighting cooperation and shared values. These portrayals ignored the complexity of the settlers' relationship with Native Americans. Thus, a legend was born, prioritizing a simple tale over historical accuracy. Today, historians remind us that the 1621 feast was a fleeting moment in a complex history. While it's a meaningful story of gratitude, it's also layered with issues of colonization and survival. The first Thanksgiving story, in many ways, represents an idealized past that rarely matched reality. This story laid the groundwork for an American tradition that would evolve over the next 400 years. A holiday evolves, from colonies to nation. Thanksgiving as a recurring event didn't take shape until the 18th century, when colonies began holding days of thanks for various reasons. These occasions were often tied to local harvests, military victories, or important societal milestones. By the late 1700s, colonies occasionally set aside days of prayer and feasting in gratitude. Yet, there was no universal holiday. Each colony had its own traditions. Thanksgiving gained national prominence in 1789 when President George Washington proclaimed a day of thanks following the end of the Revolutionary War. He encouraged Americans to reflect on their blessings, envisioning a day of unity for the young nation. However, not all Americans observed this day, as regional and cultural differences persisted. Washington's proclamation was a significant step toward nationalizing the holiday. Thanksgiving didn't become an official annual holiday until President Abraham Lincoln's proclamation during the Civil War. In 1863, Lincoln declared a national Thanksgiving, hoping to foster unity during one of America's darkest times. His vision was a day for Americans to come together, setting aside differences to celebrate the nation's resilience. Lincoln's Thanksgiving marked the beginning of a consistent observance that has endured since. Over time, Thanksgiving became a widespread tradition, with each region adding its own unique customs. By the late 19th century, Thanksgiving was celebrated across the nation, with communities incorporating foods and festivities unique to their culture. The holiday continued to grow, with parades, sports events, and family gatherings becoming part of the ritual. Thanksgiving's meaning and celebration varied widely, reflecting the nation's diversity. As the 20th century approached, Thanksgiving took on a new life with public celebrations, parades, and the spread of iconic dishes. The holiday we recognize today as a family-centered day of feasting is rooted in these developments. Thanksgiving had evolved from a colonial ritual to a defining American tradition. By the mid-1900s, it was firmly established as a national holiday of gratitude and unity. Cultural shifts and Thanksgiving traditions. The Thanksgiving meal is one of the most recognizable parts of the holiday, yet its origins are as diverse as the people who celebrate it. Turkey, stuffing, and pumpkin pie have become staples, each with their own unique history and cultural significance. Over the years, dishes from immigrant communities also joined the table, creating a blend of culinary traditions. This mix represents the melting pot nature of America's cultural landscape. Thanksgiving traditions have always evolved to fit the times and reflect American society. In the early 20th century, Thanksgiving marked the beginning of the holiday season, with family gatherings becoming central. Traditions like the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade and NFL games transformed the day into a major public celebration. Thanksgiving adapted to modern life, balancing both family and public festivity. Macy's Parade, introduced in 1924, became an iconic symbol of Thanksgiving, drawing crowds and featuring giant balloon characters. This spectacle brought Thanksgiving into homes across the country, thanks to radio and television. The parade turned Thanksgiving into an entertainment spectacle as well as a day of family gathering. Today, it remains a centerpiece of Thanksgiving morning for millions. New traditions have also emerged, like Friendsgiving, where friends gather for their own Thanksgiving feast. This variation speaks to modern lifestyles, where friends can become like family. Friendsgiving has become especially popular among younger generations. It adds a new layer of meaning to Thanksgiving, celebrating friendship alongside family ties. Thanksgiving continues to adapt, with different communities bringing their own flavors and practices to the holiday. Diverse dishes and customs make the holiday unique for each family. Thanksgiving tables now might feature tamales, dumplings, or curry alongside turkey and stuffing. This blending of cultures illustrates how Thanksgiving has become a reflection of America's diversity. Thanksgiving Controversies and Complexities. As Thanksgiving traditions grew, so did debates about the holiday's legacy, particularly regarding indigenous perspectives. For many Native Americans, Thanksgiving represents a painful history of colonization and loss. The holiday's mainstream narratives often overlook these experiences, focusing instead on simplified tales of unity. This erasure has sparked conversations about how Thanksgiving is remembered and celebrated. In response, some indigenous groups observe Thanksgiving as a national day of mourning. This observance seeks to honor the resilience and culture of Native communities while acknowledging historical injustices. It offers an alternative way to commemorate the day, reframing Thanksgiving in a way that respects indigenous history. These perspectives add depth and complexity to the holiday. The complexities of Thanksgiving are also reflected in broader American society, as people rethink the holiday's purpose. Some view it as a time to focus on family and gratitude, setting aside historical narratives. Others use the day as a chance to discuss America's history openly and thoughtfully. The holiday has become a canvas for diverse reflections and meanings. Thanksgiving's layers of tradition, history, and controversy reveal much about American identity. It is a holiday that can unite, divide, inspire, and challenge all at once. Whether one views it as a day of gratitude, reflection, or reckoning, Thanksgiving endures. This holiday continues to evolve, shaped by the values and perspectives of each generation. Thanksgiving, at its core, is a celebration of gratitude, a concept as old as humanity itself. Yet, its layers of history and meaning remind us that gratitude is not always simple. For some, it's a day to celebrate abundance and family. For others, it's a time to honor resilience and acknowledge past wounds. Thanksgiving holds different meanings for different people, shaped by personal and cultural histories. This holiday offers us a moment to reflect on what it means to belong, to remember, and to give thanks. As we gather with loved ones, we're part of a centuries-old tradition, yet we bring our own story to the table. Thanksgiving challenges us to look at both the past and the future. With each generation, this holiday changes, yet its spirit remains resilient. In our shared stories, both joyful and difficult, Thanksgiving reveals a complex and evolving legacy of gratitude. Wishing each and every one of you a very happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for watching. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment if you enjoyed the content and see you in our next video.